Monday. Oh boy. Boy, have I got a freaking day today. Holy smokes. So I'm on here a little bit early. I got to go to work and finish up what I call the most beautiful desk in the world. Big project. And anyway, I got a lot of brass work to finish up, and then I need to ship that thing out to, I think it's going to Massachusetts. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I got going today. So anyway, I want to talk about this, you guys see all the images from TSA, right? You guys see all the images from the airports over the weekend. Everyone's stuck, can't get through security. Lines are literally backed up outside of the airports and places. And I think it's just a perfect microcosm for what's happening in our country and what's been happening to our country. I mean, for a good decade at this point, I think. Not many things seem to work in this country the way they used to. And a large part of that is, I think, because of we've processed and safety cultured ourselves to death. Like everything, has to have so many layers of protection and so many layers of signatures and sign-offs and QA and inspections and permitting, and it just brings everything to a crawl. Some of the things that, like, everyone loves stats. Here's a few stats for you guys. So we built the Empire State Building in 1 year. 1 year. Can you guys imagine that? Like we can't get anything done in a year. You can't build a little frickin' whatever Dollar General in a year. It just takes forever to get these things done. You guys know that we built Hoover Dam in 5 years? I think a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people have been to Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam was built in 5 years. Massive, insane amounts of concrete. Damming off rivers, just crazy wild projects. Did that thing in a year. Other things we did, we built the entire interstate highway system in 35 years. We laid highways all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast, and we did it in 3 decades. You imagine how many miles of highway that is, how many miles of pavement that is, how many people it took to get that done, and we did it. Like, it got done. We went to the moon. We've just done all kinds of wild things in this country, and we can't seem to do anything right. And I think one of the big problems is that we have no faith in each other anymore. Like, we have no personal autonomy, or we lack personal autonomy these days. People want somebody else to take care of everything for them, whether that's, doing the TSA thing, getting online, whether that's, making sure everything's safe when they go to work, make sure their workplace is safe, make sure everything's taken care of at their home. I think, expect a little bit too much of everybody else, and rely on ourselves a little bit less. We need to rely on ourselves just a little bit more. And so we're going to talk about days. We're going to talk about, like, what is the TSA? Where did the TSA come from? Why the hell do we have to do this? What was it like before TSA, right? Why is TSA not being funded right now? What is Congress doing to basically piss everybody off, right? And again, Congress is getting paid, right? They're not funding, they're not doing their congressional obligations, but, they're still getting a paycheck. They're fine. Congress isn't, being held up at airports. Also, I used to work in aviation. I worked in aerospace for about 20 years. So I want to tell you guys what it's like to fly private, right? I want to tell you guys what it's like to fly when you don't have a whole bunch of people, groping you and wanding you and making you wait in lines to get, your ID checked and your tickets checked. And I want to let you guys know what it's like in other places like Singapore, like France, like Israel, different places that do different kinds of things when you travel. It's very different in other countries than what we have here in America. And the reason we love the TSA here in America is because we are just safety obsessed. And we think that as long as there's lots of security, as long as there's lots of checkpoints, that, nothing bad's going to happen to us. As long as our cars have 14 airbags and 1,000 sensors, that somehow that's going to make us safe. Like, we love safety in this country. And I'm here to tell you guys that there was a time when we weren't all about safety. There was a time when we actually got shit done. There was a time when we didn't have to live this way, where everything is wildly expensive and someone else has to do everything for us. And we had a country of people that did things, So let's dig into it, okay? What happened with TSA? So what was happening in TSA is that essentially the Congress did not fund the TSA. They did not fund the Department of Homeland Security, if you really want to go back up, right? TSA falls under the Department of Homeland Security. And why didn't they fund the Department of Homeland Security? And the reason is because there's a pissing match between Republicans and Democrats, essentially over immigration law being enforced in this country. So again, the Congress doesn't want to enforce the law, right? Everyone looked the other way for probably about 15 years at this point, but really big time. They looked the other way when Biden was in office and essentially let all these illegal immigrants in here. And then, oh, shocker, a president comes in and says, oh, I'm going to get these people out of here. And then suddenly they start deporting these people and, oh, people don't like it. Well, this Alex Preddy guy got killed, right? Because he's at a protest, messing with the operation. And again, the guy probably got killed. From what I saw, the guy was killed by ICE, and he probably shouldn't have been. But the fact is that people get hurt, right? People are going to get injured. You're going to have people that don't want enforcement of the laws in this country, and therefore bad shit happens, and we don't want to accept that. So Congress decided, well, we're not going to fund Department of Homeland Security because we don't want to fund ICE because we're against what happened to this Alex Preddy guy. So basically, all of you are being inconvenienced at the TSA, having to wait at these security areas, which are the airports. Now, they're essentially like prisons. They're not like they used to be, which I'm going to talk to you guys about how airports used to be. I'm old enough to remember what it was like before 9/11 when we had all this shit. But anyway, so you guys are all being inconvenienced and paying for this shit, whether or not you agree with what happened to Alex Preddy, whether or not you agree with the whole immigration stance, whether or not you agree with anything. Congress is just not doing its job because it wants to make a point that basically we have to make immigration changes, and if we don't make immigration changes, they're not going to fund the Department of Homeland Security, and thus y'all are stuck at the airport, right? Y'all are going to take it up the ass because basically Congress just wants to, act virtuous and like, oh God, we're going to stand up for the oppressed, right? All these kind of things. And it's just insane what's happening, guys. Like it blows my mind that these kind of things happen. And then again, everybody is inconvenienced over one guy getting killed, right? And again, no shade on that guy. I'm sure he was a great man. He had all kinds of things to do, but you can't let every little micro issue affect the country on a macro level because we got a lot of things that Congress is not funding right now. We got a lot of things that Congress is hiding. We got a lot of things that Congress is blindly supporting. And the country is not running, in my opinion, the way that it's supposed to run. And if we don't work on some of these issues, guys, it's only going to continue to get worse. If we let this safety culture and this idea that the government's going to keep us safe, and the government is what we need, more government, then we're going to end up in a place where you guys can afford nothing. Everything's going to be slowed down. It's going to take 10 years to build a bridge. It's going to take 10 years to build a skyscraper. And everyone that goes on the job site is going to be wrapped in bubble wrap, double hard hats, double steel-toed boots. Everyone is going to come to a complete stop and be afraid of everything, guys. It's a weird time to live because I see this stuff just layering. It's just layering of permitting, layering of processing, layering of somebody else having to come in and check somebody else's work at every step of the way, and nothing gets done, right? And I say this as a business owner, right? So again, who am I? Why are you guys listening to me? What are you guys doing in the stream this morning? So my name is Eric Wilkin. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We're a fine furniture company. We make about 500 pieces a year. We send them all over the country. We have about 8 employees. It's a great little middle-class living and hard work, a lot of work, but it's well worth it. I love showing people how to make furniture. I love showing my customers how we make their stuff. I love showing other people how we make our furniture. And I love talking to you guys about how to make furniture, how to paint furniture, how to work with metal, how to do all kinds of fun things. And so that is my perspective. A guy that worked in aerospace for 20 years, building cabinets and furniture for private jets. And now I have my own company. I've had it for about 10 years, and it's been a great little middle-class living. So that's where I'm coming from. So let's dig into comments real quick, and then I want to continue on this conversation. I got a lot of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about what Congress is giving their attention to, right? Things like the Department of Homeland Security and immigration, and things they're not giving their attention to, which are things like exposing the list of sexual harassment claims that have been paid out by Congress, this slush fund that they have to basically deal with women that are accusing men of being sleazeballs, basically. They don't have time for that, right? They don't have time for the anti-stock bills, right? What do they call it? They call it the Restore Trust in Congress Act, right? They don't seem to have any time for that. They're not going to pass that. They don't want anyone to know what's going on there. But they're happy to let you guys, take it up the ass at the airport while they not fund the Department of Homeland Security because they're pissed off about immigration. Suddenly, they care about immigration. It wasn't too much to let 10, 20 million people in here over the last, 4 to 6 years. But now that one guy got shot, suddenly everybody has to be affected. Suddenly Congress has lots of time for this one issue. It's the wildest amount of hypocrisy, and it's the wildest amount of, oh my God, look at my little baby issue, look at my baby issue, even though if everyone else is taking up the ass, I'm gonna worry about this one little tiny thing in Minneapolis. It's very frustrating from a taxpayer's point of view. It's very frustrating from anyone that would have to travel and actually live their life. Very, very, very annoying. So anyway, let's dig into comments. Sorry guys, kind of running my mouth here. Okay, this is 6V. Again, anyone's in here, I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I appreciate you spending the time this morning. So I'm not going to do a long cast. I got to get into work here before too long, but we'll try to give you guys an hour this morning. All right, Waffles XD, E7C, Blackjack. I have 15 dealers, has 7 showing, hit or stand. Let's hear Blackjack. I have 15 with the dealer. I have a 7 showing. Should I hit or stand? You should stand, because odds are he is not going to get below 21 or above 21. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. That's what I would do. I would stand. So okay, Waffles XD. 1 second of your time, sir. Hit or stand. All right, Slideways Z423. Hello from North Korea. North Korea, man, fantastic. I doubt you're from North Korea, but if you are, that is awesome. All right, Son's in here. Good morning, Son. Good to see you, dude. All right, YG Blitzy, drank so much coffee, things this morning's shaking up my back. Okay, well, I love coffee in the morning. Got to get that caffeine going on. Making America safer, Donald Trump. All right, man. I don't know, some people really like what Donald Trump's doing, others don't. Okay, we got to Raw556, look up Fine Fast Food on YouTube. Okay, Raw, your comment was gone away. Son says, how to make Americans safer and more able to afford homes and gas. Step 1, destroy desalinization plants in Iran. Yeah, right, exactly. All right, Mr. Ghost, 32, I love your lamp bag. Yep, leg lamp, it's official. My mom got it for me a long time ago. And came in a crate, the whole 9 yards, and it's amazing. So I like to put it, it's a good staple of my cast, and just lets people know that, yep, here's Eric's cast, right? This is the the authentic Eric. Okay, let's dig into some of these conversations about TSA, about Congress, and about what Congress is doing and what Congress isn't doing, and how you guys are essentially paying for all of it. And I'm going to tell you guys what it's like to fly private. I'm going to tell you guys what it was like before 9/11. I'm going to tell you guys what it's like to not have to put up with the TSA. And again, when you constantly put fear in the hearts of the citizen, when you constantly tell them that Hezbollah's around the corner, you know, Al-Qaeda's, you know, out by their trash can, when you constantly fearmonger people, you're able to control them. And you're able to control them by putting in things like the TSA. It's a perfect example. Things like the Patriot Act. If you guys know what the Patriot Act is, there's a lot of things that your government has been doing to you guys, and it literally is making everyone afraid of their own shadow. And it's wildly frustrating as a guy who knows that I could die like when I go to work today, okay? I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid of anything. What I don't like is I don't like paying tons of money in taxes. I don't like having to go to the airport and basically have to go there 2-3 hours early just so I can catch a freaking flight that should take me an hour or two. I mean, the time it takes me to go to the airport, go through TSA, get onto my plane is longer than it takes for the flight to go from whatever, St. Louis down to Austin. You know, it's wildly frustrating. To go from St. Louis down to Miami, you know, and it didn't used to be this way, guys. We have just, and I think a lot of it is COVID messed people up. The whole 9/11 thing messed people up. And I dug into how many terrorist attacks have been in aerospace before 9/11, and then how many have been after 9/11, right? And how did we address these issues? Like, what is it about our culture today that feels like we need some massive, you know, $100 billion solution for a regular type problem, right? An inconvenience of a problem, right? Some kind of a micro issue. We just throw the entire kitchen sink at it as though that's gonna make everything better, okay? There's something in our culture that does that today, and I don't quite know what it is, because I know as a business owner, I can't afford to do that. I could never afford to do that. And as citizens, we're all broke. So how are we getting this money to create these massive, like, wildly frustrating and inconvenient solutions to everything? Is it making our life safer? Do you guys feel safer? Do you feel better when you fly? Is the juice worth the squeeze, right? So I got all the numbers on what we pay for TSA. I got all the numbers on why TSA was brought into play. And I got some things for you guys to think about as what life could be like without TSA, okay? So we'll think of some of those things and put your guys' comments in there. Hit the like button, add to the discussion, subscribe to the channel. If you like content about current events, if you like content about woodworking, you like content about how to run a small business, about how to paint furniture, how to work with metal, all these kind of things, we got all this content here. I like to talk with you guys every morning about something. you know, because again, I'm a real person, and this idea that business owners can't talk politics and current events because it alienates part of your consumer base, I'm here to tell you guys it's not really true. There's an element of truth to it, but again, most of the customers I deal with the top, 1-2% of society, and a lot of them think just the way I do. They think the way a lot of us do. So it's going to be okay. So, all right, more comments coming in. Let's read a couple comments, and we're going to get after it. Okay, Sun said, how do you make Americans safer and more able to afford homes and gas? Yeah, destroy desalination plants. All right, yeah, and again, we seem to always have money for war. We always have money to send to the third world. We always have time to deal with issues that do not affect Americans. We always have time and money to affect places that Americans will never go. We always got time and money for places that Americans would never want to go, right? Again, we always got money to go bomb Syria, we got money to bomb Libya, we got money to bomb Sudan, we got money to bomb Iraq, we got money to bomb Afghanistan, we got money to bomb Iran, we got money to bomb all these people. But you guys can't afford healthcare. And again, the places that we give money to, right? They got free healthcare, right? They got free education, but you guys can't have it here, right? So you guys want to go to Europe, right? Europe doesn't have to spend jack shit on defense because America essentially is NATO. They'll say it's a, an alliance of organizations, of countries and nations, and no, it's not. It's America, right? And this same thing with this little country, Israel. Israel gets a ton of our money, can talk all the shit that it wants because America's right behind it, okay? So the reason you guys can't afford anything is essentially because we take care of the rest of the world, and then they get all the shit that you guys should have by virtue of just being American. But that's a different discussion. Let's get into a couple comments real quick. All right. Mr. Go says, I love your leg. Okay, I already read your comment. Path Heaven 5961, the official lamp is serial killers. All right, dude. Son, hate it when I have to fight Hezbollah in the USA. I know. Again, I was going out checking my mail this morning, and I made sure I took my gun out there so that I could make sure Hezbollah wasn't out there when I opened up my mailbox, because they're just jumping out of the, I got to fight Hezbollah off with a stick, man. They're just all over the place. But, that's just part of being American, I guess. When you pick fights with the entire world, they're going to eventually come in here and they're going to come get us, But anyway, no, there's no Hezbollah in America, guys. No, there's no Al-Qaeda in America. And again, there's none of those people in here because why would your country just let anybody into this country without even checking who they are, without having some kind of a process to make sure they're getting good people coming into this country? They just let them in willy-nilly, and then they, out of the other side of their mouth, they tell you like, oh God, there's terrorist cells all over the place. Look out, fighting age men, they're trying to terrify you guys because when they terrify you, they can control you with all these new programs. Look, we got this great idea. How about TSA? Oh my God, let's go fight the terrorists over in the Middle East so that they don't have to come here. We hear that all the time. And honestly, guys, I think it's all horseshit. And again, I could be wrong. Like, I'm just some dumb furniture maker. What do I know? I don't know geopolitics. But I do know that there's nothing more that America likes than building up their military, sending that military all over the world, and then terrifying Americans back home. It's kind of weird. Like, I thought that was the whole point of having a massive military, was to strike fear in the hearts of the rest of the world. But apparently it doesn't work because, again, Hezbollah is right outside my door. It's like when I get in my car, I got to check around, all four tires to make sure that Al-Qaeda isn't, waiting to come jump on me. So anyway, okay, Mike Terrible. Okay, great. Sun says the USA Department of Homeland Security Twitter account has made it Israel. Was made in Israel after 9/11. Twitter outed them when they added the account made in feature. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. Shellhammer Project. I will definitely not do business with somebody that's the opposite political affiliation. Not at this point in time. Hell no. Okay, great. Well, you probably don't have any money either there, Shellhammer Project. All right, more messages deleted. Nate, Nato Sinem True. All right. He's got something timed out. Okay, cool, man. So Titan Prisoner. All right, man. Yeah, good. Yeah, we got moderators in here, guys. So again, these casts, depending on when we do them, we get thousands of people in here. We get thousands of clicks on these things, and so we got a couple people that moderate and just kick out all the spammers because it just gets old. Having to put up with that. So okay, who's this? This is Nato Sedem. Let every nation know whether it wishes us well, or let every nation know whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success. Okay, I completely disagree with what you're saying there, but I appreciate your comment. Again, like we'll support our allies, but there's, the allies have to do the work too. Like it can't just be America doing all the work. There's no point in America having an ally if the ally gets all the benefits of the friendship, right? And again, we know this, that whenever America has a problem, you guys ever notice that no one ever comes and helps America? Like that's kind of interesting, right? There's no aid or support to America when we have crazy national disasters, right? There's none of that. And again, we don't look to other countries to tell us how to do things. For some reason, like we could be friends with Japan. Japan can have crazy bullet trains. Japan can have all these crazy transportation systems. And again, and when we try and do it here, nope, not happening. And we know, like, look at places like California. Like what a shit show that place is. Again, they can't get stupid high-speed rail there. They spent like $24 billion on this project. They've done nothing. Like again, why aren't the citizens there screaming at the politicians there and demanding they all be arrested for fraud? You can't tell me you took all that money and did anything good. Where did all that money go? Oh, it went to planners, right? Or it went to strategists, or it went to consultants. Like bullshit. As a business owner, we can't afford to waste money doing those kind of things. So when I hear this, oh, we gotta do a land impact study, that is code for robbery. That is code for stealing. And again, our allies do this stuff, right? Our allies have all the money in the world for this shit, but we don't have it here in America. We're stuck driving on these dirty old roads with this highway system that we built 100 years ago in 35 years. We literally went from the East Coast all the way out to the West Coast, the entire interstate highway system, 35 years, okay? We can't build a bridge in 30 years. We can't build, high-speed rail. We can't go 100 miles to do high-speed rail in a decade. Like, we can't do anything in this country because we are processed and safetied and taxed to death. There's no incentive for government to get anything done because you guys will just continue to fund them. You'll continue to give them money. You continue to vote them into office. Like the system is completely captured by special interests and corrupt politicians, And again, there's no mechanism for you guys to turn it off. You can only continue to pay your taxes. You can only vote for this fuck up or that fuck up, right? But you keep paying the tax dollars, right? There's no mechanism to turn it off. And therefore, the system's going to continue. All the incentives are for you guys to keep working, keep paying exorbitant prices for healthcare, keep paying exorbitant prices for cars, keep paying exorbitant prices for everything, keep paying for bombs over in the third world, keep paying for defense of the third world, keep paying to defend little insignificant countries with 9.6 million people in an area you guys will never go, that no American actually wants to go to, right? And again, has healthcare, has the education, has all the shit you guys want. You're going to continue to fund it because there's no mechanism to turn it off. There's no expectation of providing high quality anything here in America because they will basically just tell you guys, oh, we got to study it more. Oh, nope, Congress won't pass this thing, but keep sending us tax dollars. And the system is broken, guys. It is as broken as it can possibly get. And at this point in my life, I'm starting to think that the only solution is the tax revolt. Like America simply has to stop paying taxes to the federal government because the federal government does not represent you. They do not do the things that you want to do. They allow all of our allies to have all the shit that we should have here in America, being the wealthiest country in the history of civilization, but we can't seem to get here, right? And then when it comes to flying, because we started this conversation talking about TSA, there's a lot of other countries that operate in a very different way than America, but you guys just love waiting 2 hours to get on a fucking airplane, in order to fly 30 minutes down to Kansas City, right? So, all right, Josh Manson back in here. Josh, good to see you, dude. We're talking TSA this morning. We're talking about Congress can't fund TSA. We're talking about why traveling today sucks. And again, as someone who's flown private more times than anyone on this cast and that has literally been in that industry forever, I'll tell you guys how everybody else travels, okay? We want to go see how Israel travels. Is wildly different. We want to see how France travels. Wildly different. We want to know how Singapore travels. Wildly different. What we do here in America is a mishmash of shit. And you guys pay the most expensive taxes. You pay the most for absolutely everything while giving it away to the rest of the world. So that's my rant on that. I'm going to slow down. We're going to go through comments, and we're going to continue the conversation talking about TSA, why your government won't fund Department of Homeland Security, why your government doesn't care about illegal immigrants, but then when a protester gets killed protesting the enforcement of American laws, suddenly they shut it all down, right? Wildly hypocritical, because guess what? They were just supposed to pass I got to make sure I get the name right. They were just supposed to pass the Restore Trust in Congress Act, which essentially would make it illegal for them to trade stocks. But again, that got shot down. Shocker. The other thing, they were supposed to release Nancy Mace championed a bill, or sponsored a bill, I guess what you'd say. Nancy Mace sponsored a bill basically letting out all of these sexual harassment cases that have been paid out by Congress, right? There's a giant slush fund to pay off all these dirty fucking Congress people that are trying to harass women, right? Or are trying to have sexual advances with women, or are trying to act like, hey, I'm the boss. You know, if you blow me, guess what, man? Maybe you'll move up in my campaign or my administration. They were going to out all the names of those people and who the payments were made out to. But guess what? Congress doesn't want to vote on that. You know, Congress doesn't think that that's such a good idea. Shocker. All right. Meanwhile, you just want to fly from St. Louis down to Austin, but you got to show up 2 or 3 hours early to deal with the fucking TSA, you know, for a 60-minute flight down to Austin, okay? It's horseshit, guys. All right, let's go with their comments. You guys let me know what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you guys remember what life was like before 9/11? Do you remember what it was like to bring your family to the airport? You guys know that, like, the airport literally used to be kind of like a mall, like a shopping center. Like, everyone would go there, you'd catch a flight, and literally, you'd bring your friends would just take you up to the gate. You guys go grab a beer, you know, shoot the shit for a little while, you know, go hang out at the airport, and then you'd leave. You know, you can't do any of that now, right? Like, look at the, I mean, here, I'm gonna Google it right now, just so I want to make sure I get the information. You guys remember that ship that crashed into that bridge out in Baltimore? Let's see, what was that, a couple of years ago? Let's see if that thing's been built. Do you guys think that bridge has been rebuilt? Again, we built the Empire State Building in a year. We built Hoover fucking Dam in 5 years. Okay, let's see if that's been done. Okay, let's type Baltimore Bridge. Oops, sorry guys, I got to go into Grok here. Baltimore Bridge hit by ship. We'll just do some generic shirt. Was it rebuilt? Let's see what Grok says. Let's see if this bridge, I'm guessing this bridge, they haven't fucking done anything, but it's a bridge, it's wildly important. It says, no, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore has not yet been rebuilt as of March 2026, nearly 2 years after its collapse. All right, so that bridge was hit by what's called the Dolly, right? This is a container ship, hit this bridge. So this was, apparently this had full federal funding to be rebuilt in 2024. Debris removal and channel reopening were completed relatively quick, which is something. Okay, let's see what else has got here. Not rebuilt to reopen. The new bridge is still in design and pre-construction phase. The bridge is still in design and pre-construction phase 2 years after it was hit by a fucking cargo ship, guys. Like, this is wildly insane. You tell me we can't, like, I come from Portland, all right? Portland, Oregon is literally known as the city of bridges, okay? Design and pre-construction phase, are you kidding me? We built the Empire State Building. It still stands today. It's one of the tallest buildings in New York. We built it in, I think it was like 400 days. Like, it's literally like a year. It's insane how we cannot do anything in this country. And as a small business owner that has to make money, sell things, be efficient, and deliver a product on time, this drives me crazy. Pre-production and design. Are you fucking kidding me? As a taxpayer, and again, fully federally funded, that means you are paying for a shit ton of consultants to design the best possible bridge. Let's spend a year fucking designing something that the taxpayers use every day, right? Oh, pre-production phase. That's your land surveys. They probably want to do, you know, land impact studies. They probably want to make sure it doesn't offend the Indians, it doesn't affect the LGBTQ community. They want to make sure that it's safe for women, that it's not on land that was previously owned by slaves. Like, they want to do all this shit except build a fucking bridge. Like, you know, guys, this shit just drives me crazy. It drives me insane that this thing is not even close to being. And you know why they can't rebuild homes in California? Why they can't just fund that shit with insurance money and then rebuild those homes? Because every motherfucker in the Coastal Committee has got to have a say in whether or not you could rebuild your own home on your own land, right? It's just, it makes me so angry, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this country can do nothing. Like, until we let the people build again, until we get more people that understand how long it should take to actually make things today, we're going to continue to spiral downhill as a country, guys. You guys want to know why you have $1 trillion military budget? It's because, again, we can't even make missiles for under $4 million a piece. We can't build tanks, which aren't even used in combat anymore. We literally are building tanks right now that we're never going to use because we signed contracts 10 years ago. Like, this country is fucked, guys. We cannot go on like this, you know? Sorry, let's go to the comments. Guys, this just makes me so angry. All right, Tim Gad, 1712. I don't recall Christmas Story having the serial killer dad inside. I know. We got funny people in here, you know? So, anyway, I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you guys think about the fact that that bridge in Baltimore is not even out of design yet 2 hours later? Or 2 hours. 2 years later. Like, as a taxpayer, as a person that probably used that bridge regularly, I would just be fucking just wildly frustrated. I would be so mad at my local government. Holy hell. All right, let's see. I think, Nate, we already read your comment. Son says, how many of your friends torpedo Plasma Owl 5281 building all the legislature to try and make it where they only do their job if they get their way? Yeah, and 100%. And again, this is that, like, I don't see any bills in Congress saying, hey, if you guys close the government down, you guys don't get paid. You know, like, there's a great way to keep Congress moving, right? There's a good way to keep the money funneling. There's no mechanism to not pay these people if they don't do their job. But God, if one protester gets killed in Minneapolis after letting 20 million people into this country, suddenly you got something to fucking say. Like, suddenly you find your balls again, you know, because this one guy got killed and you want to act tough about ICE, or you want to act tough about CBP. Like, and again, everyone in America has to suffer because of it. Like, give me a break. Meanwhile, we're over in Iran. We're bombing people indiscriminately. We're essentially fighting for one little tiny country that no motherfucker's ever going to go to in America. We're fighting for a country that gets the healthcare that you guys can't get here, that gets the education that you guys can't here. We got all the time in the world and resources for that. Congress can't seem to shut anything down over bombing these countries in the Middle East, but it'll absolutely shut all the people that want to travel in this country on airplanes because of one guy named Alex Pretty in Minneapolis. Like, again, no shade on that guy, no shade to his family. I feel bad about all that, but guess what? Your little fucking problem ain't my problem. And I'm tired of Congress suddenly getting a conscience, you know, because of the issue that they want to talk about becomes important. You know, again, like, do we just have like a massive do we just have a massive vocal minority in this country? We got just tons of people that suddenly give a shit about these stupid issues that most Americans don't give a fuck about. Like, why do these things get so much attention? Like, why isn't this story about this bridge in Baltimore not front page news every day? 2 fucking years with a fully funded, federally built bridge. It's not even out of design yet. Like, that's insane, guys. That is fucking insane. You had a bridge there before. Build the same fucking thing that was there before. Put your new materials in there. Put your new whatever, you know, improved concrete, whatever the fuck it is you're putting on there. Build the motherfucker and then move on to the next thing. Nobody cares about your design. Oh, we want to make it pretty. They haven't made a pretty thing in this country since 1930, or excuse me, since 1950. You know, it's called the Art Deco era. Everything else has been shit. Like, look. There you go, guys. I hope this has woken you up this morning. Like, Eric ranting and railing about the government. Like, shocker. Okay, if you guys like the rants and you like talking about politics, you like talking about current events first thing in the morning with coffee, hit the like button. Add to the discussion. Throw your comment in there. We'll read it. We'll bat it back and forth. Again, I think we're at 12. We should have more likes in here. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Let's get this thing up to 20 or 30 likes. All right, continuing. Here we go. Okay, Mike is terrible is in here. Mike is terrible at 98 Milk. See, are you left or right? Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying if I'm left or right. Me, I'm right leaning, but I'm pretty center guy. What I care about from my political standpoint is I want the government to fuck off. I'm not interested in your inefficiency and your virtue. I want you guys just to let me run my business. I want you to let me employ people. I want you to let me make products, sell them, deliver them on time at a reasonable price for the product that I'm selling, and I want the government to not tax me to death. I don't want to pay your 22.5% in income tax. I don't want to pay your 6.5% in employment tax. I don't want to pay Medicare. I don't want to pay Social Security. I don't want to pay any of that shit because I know that's not going to be there for me. I don't want to pay for TSA because I'm not a bitch. I used to work in aviation. I understand how aerospace really works. I don't want to pay a lot of things, and that's what I care about. If that makes me right, great. If that makes me left, great. I don't care. All right, let's see. OSOD Devil Dog back in here. Good to see you, dude. Okay, if you are in the USA, you don't have anything to worry about, but we give Iran another 47 years untouched, and Sharia law would be ruling the nation, and our offspring will all be speaking Arabic. Well, that's an interesting comment, you know. And again, like, so I have a Syrian gentleman that works for me. He's now a naturalized American, but he prays 5 times a day, you know. So I personally don't care. I mean, are you saying you got a problem with that guy? Like, again, I thought America was about bringing, you know, immigrants into this country and creating a melting pot. Like, I personally, that guy's married, he's got kids. What do you say? His wife just sits at home in a burqa and with their feet bound, she just pops out kids and cooks dinner. Like, I don't think that that's the case. And again, whatever works for one group of people, let them do it. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. Like, we see these videos of what is it in Dearborn, Michigan? They're putting the call to prayer 5 times a day. Like, again, if that's what those people want to do over there, I got no problems with it, man. Like I said, just pay your taxes that you're supposed to pay. Like, do your job. Don't commit any crimes, and whatever. Like, live free and prosper, man. Like Spock says. Like, I'm all for it. I don't give a shit what people want to do. And again, I don't think we're going to be speaking Arabic. I again got a Syrian guy. He speaks his native language just fine. He also speaks American just fine. Like, I highly assimilated individual. I think that's a good thing, you know. But it's the people that come in here illegally, or they're brought in here on some bullshit program that never assimilate. They never speak the language. They live in little Somalia. They live in little Mexico. They live in little, you know, whatever, Riyadh. They live in these little tiny communities where they never have to assimilate. And that I'm not okay with, you know. And again, these people will never become American citizens because they're not here legally. And again, I got a big fucking problem with that. The whole point of coming to America is to become an American citizen. And if that's not your point, get out, right? You want to come in here, you want to make a whole bunch of money, you want to send it back to your home country. Again, I got a problem with that. Like, you want to come here and work, you ain't repatriating your dollars. I'm sorry, it's not happening. You know, oh, we need workers, we need workers. Get fucked. You know, we got plenty of workers here. We got tons of people on welfare. You can't tell me these people can't go do this work. Oh, Americans are above that. Americans won't do that. Again, I don't buy it. Like I said, my mom picked strawberries in her day. I stained furniture for most of my young adult life. Like, I worked in factories my whole young adult life. Again, I would love to be out picking grapes in Napa Valley, California. I'm sorry, like, it's kind of paradise out there. I don't want to hear it, you know. So, oh, my lettuce will be $10 a head. Like, so what? Lettuce sucks. I hate lettuce. All right. Our host is pro free speech. Just put in any effort. Yeah, right. 100% free speech. I'm an absolutist when it comes to free speech. You guys want to say whatever you want? I don't care. You can't offend me. And again, if you're offended by hearing nasty words, like, you need to toughen up a little bit. All right, Christmas story. Hell yeah. Let's see. You don't think ahead to. I know. I just don't. For our future generations. Okay. Again, I talk about the future generations all the time. I talk about the boomers being a major problem. Like, every conflict we're doing right now, these are conflicts of centenarians. These are conflicts of people that were our age 50 years ago, and they're literally chasing ghosts. You know, that's literally what they're doing. Our entire policy is set up to protect boomers, right? Whether that's Social Security or that's Medicare. Doesn't matter. They'll spend any amount of money. They'll never leave Congress to make sure that these people, this voter base, is protected forever. Doesn't matter if people are living 30 years longer than they were living when we started Social Security. Doesn't matter that healthcare costs have 100x'd since they started paying for Medicare. It doesn't matter any of that shit. They'll use any amount of money, and they'll buy off any politicians, and they'll tell voters whatever they got to tell to protect this class of people. They will never build more homes. They will never knock down the permitting, the land designations. They will not do any of this shit to increase the supply of housing, right? Because they want to keep that voter base happy with that they have, you know, whatever, 1, 200, 300, 400, 500,000 in equity in their home. They're never going to do it, you guys. And so when you say that I don't care about future generations, you are delusional. You don't listen to me talk. You haven't listened to this cast in a long time, and you're wrong. You know, anyone in the chat will tell you, you know. So anyway, but I appreciate you getting a little bit of a steam out of me. Okay, Carol CV7VE. There has been offers. We turned them down. Okay, what are the offers, Carol? Let me know. Okay, what can we do? Let's see. We can do all of those things. All right, what are all of those things, Casual Burritos? Again, if you guys are gonna put something in the stream, you gotta put in a full kind of, if you're gonna just throw a comment out there, you gotta put that comment out there and let me know exactly what you're talking about, because it's very difficult to keep up with chat sometimes. And again, chat's not crazy today, which is kind of nice. I should be able to keep up with most of it for the most part. Okay, Devil Dog, what do you mean? It's easier for people to reply to the comments, or it's a full thought? All right, Plasma, yeah, left and right is dumb. Let's get people practice reading comprehension and get some Get some moderates at the wheel. You have to read and understand what you're reading to decide if you agree with a moderate. Okay, well, you're saying something, Plasma Al, but I don't think reading is this country's problem. Okay, let's see. We got Jeff West. Jeff West, Bay 2682. So thumbs up, man. All right, right on, Jeff. Let's see. Casual burritos. In fact, every instance of those is tax funded. Again, Casual burritos. Not sure what you're saying. Everything. America pays for everything, guys. Like again, we're $38 trillion in debt. You know, you think that we got nothing for that? Oh, we got something. You know, and so did everybody else. Like, and you guys paid for it. Like, as a taxpayer, you should be furious at the fact that your country's $38 trillion debt. You have the wealthiest, most productive, and most influential country that civilization has ever known. And yet, you guys are being raked over the coals at the federal level for 22.5% of every dollar that you make. Gas shooting through the roof. Energy shooting through the roof. Property taxes shooting through the roof. Healthcare shooting through the roof. Food through the roof. Every fucking thing that you guys love about life that's great about being an American is becoming unaffordable. Every bit of it. And again, this whole situation in Iran right now, you guys are paying for all that stuff. And again, you're fighting for countries that are not democracies. You're fighting for countries that get all the healthcare and education that you guys don't get here in America. You're fighting for countries that love abortion. You're fighting for countries that promote the proliferation of degeneracy through sites like OnlyFans. The largest donator to the political pact, AIPAC, which essentially is an Israeli influence lobby, is funded by the guy that started OnlyFans, who is a Ukrainian American and an extreme Zionist. Okay, we're paying for all this shit. Your Congress is bought and paid for by the state of Israel, which is why we're over there dealing with this shit. This should piss you guys off more than anything. Not because you're anti-Israel, anti-Jew, anti-Muslim, anti-anything, but because what you're fighting for in the third world does not exist here in America. And what you're fighting for in the third world, Americans will never see. Okay, and again, does it sound good to take your neighbor's money and send it to the third world? Does it sound good to take your neighbor's money and send it over to places that get free education, free healthcare, free dental, all the things that you guys say you want here in America? Like, again, you vote for all this shit. You support the politicians that send your fucking money all over the world, and yet your roads here are crumbling. You can't build a fucking bridge in Baltimore. It's not even designed yet. It's been 2 fucking years since they started that project. We built the Empire State Building in a year. We built Hoover Dam in 5 years, okay? We can't even design a fucking bridge in 2 years, right? Like, Jesus Christ, people, like, you have got to understand what is happening in this country. You are being fleeced every day of your life. You buy food, tax. You buy gas, tax. You buy a house, tax. You buy a car, tax. You buy a dog, tax. Anything you buy is taxed to death at the state level, the federal level, the local level, the county level. I mean, there are taxes upon taxes upon taxes. And we can't get people to fight back. Like, people refuse to stop paying their taxes. People refuse to tell their politicians to cut the taxes. People refuse to tell their politicians to stop stealing from the people that make the goddamn money, right? People refuse to stop letting your government pay consultants out the ass, who they all know, and they back funnel money to their campaigns. Refuse to pay, you know, all the people that need the permitting, the land studies, and the fucking slavery studies, and the LGBTQ studies. Like, we refuse to pay for this, or refuse to stop paying for this shit, guys. And it's all the federal government. Like, it's all the federal government, guys. Again, states are bad. States do dumb shit, but at least you have the option to move from one state to another, right? I grew up in Oregon. I don't even recognize that state anymore. Now I live in Missouri, a little bit more of a down-to-earth kind of a state, right? You have options. When the federal government takes your 22.5% of all your money every year, you have no choice. You can't move somewhere other than outside the United States. Like, you guys want healthcare? Move to Europe. Like, they got healthcare, right? And America pays for it because Europe doesn't have to provide its own defense, okay? You want free education and healthcare? Move to Israel. Oh, that's right, they won't take you. You're not a Jew. They're not going to take you. And again, but America funnels them shit tons of money. We send them $4 billion a year. Right now, we're sending them $1 billion a day. You know, some of you are going to say, oh, we're not sending Israel $1 billion a day. That's bullshit. Yeah, what the fuck do you think it costs to have your Navy over there? What do you think it costs to intercept all these things we're doing in Iran right now? What do you think it costs to have your military prepped and ready to go in case shit really pops off? Like, what do you think that we're all paying for that shit, guys? And for what? What are you getting out of this war? What, you're afraid of Muslims? What, are you afraid of a country having its own sovereignty? Are you afraid of being called anti-Semite? Are you afraid of being called a Jew hater? Like, what are you guys all so afraid of? You think that fucking Hezbollah's around the corner? Oh my God, I can't get onto an airplane anymore without a 2-hour wait and some fucking retard patting me down. Like, you guys realize you're paying for TSA. Like $5.60 of every one-way flight. So a round-trip ticket's over $11 just in fees to do the TSA. What? So that you can have some guy ask you questions and pat you down, check your ID 1,000 times. You know, there was a time when we didn't have to pay for this shit. You guys understand that? Like, there was a time when life was normal. But ever since fucking 9/11 happened, you guys have been fucking terrified. Absolutely terrified. There's a lot of us that we signed up to go fight terrorists. You guys are acting like it's still not safe. Like we did all this stuff for nothing. And if that's the case, then what are we doing? Like, why did we go do all that stuff? If you don't feel better, what was the point? You should feel better. You should be like, great, let's go back to the way we lived before this. But you don't. You just want more and more. Give me more government. Give me more regulation. Give me more safety. Like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, it just blows my mind what we allow to happen in this country. And it could be so much better. There was a time when things were better, you know? So let's go through comments. I'm telling you guys what I like to fly private, right? So again, I worked in the aviation industry for 20 years. I've flown private probably more than most people. And I'm gonna tell you guys what that's like. Okay, Frankie 1026, you're so wrong on so many points. You should probably get some historical facts correct before you start ranting. Okay, well, Frankie 1029, I appreciate your comment, man. I hope you hit the like button and subscribe, add discussion. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time. I tell you guys all the time, I never graduated high school. I got really good at making furniture. I figured out how to start a business. Worked out great for me. That is my perspective. Again, I am worldly. I've worked in aerospace. I have an FBI clearance. I've worked on every major airplane that has probably ever existed in America. I've worked on all of them. I've been to all the defense centers. I've done it all, right? That is my perspective. You guys want to know how aerospace really works? You want to know how engineering really works? You want to know how FAA works? Like, again, I had to deal with it for 20 years. Trust me, I got some good information for you guys. But yes, I'm not an expert. I'm not a historian. I'm a normie dude, which is why I think people like this cast. They like listening to normal people talk about their experience and they're dealing with the system. Because again, a lot of people think that we just pay taxes and there's nothing we can do. You know, some of us pay, like I pay more taxes than most of you guys get in salary, right? We pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in taxes to employ people, to create more taxpayers, right? As employers, we have to pay for all that shit. Right? So I know what I'm talking about when I talk about taxes. I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about being efficient, sending things all over the country. When I talk about import and export, I talk about tariffs, it's because I actually have 2 manufacturing companies in India that make hardware for me that I design for and that we're constantly communicating with trying to get product into America, right? So you want to have tariffs really work? I actually do it. I'm not a PhD in economics. I am the fucking PhD. I am the economics because I actually do it. So, all right, keep it on going. But Frankie, man, I appreciate being here. Again, I'm open to change, dude. You could change my mind 100%. All right, Sun says, agree, last real president was JFK. Yes, JFK probably was the last real president, and look what happened to that guy. They fucking killed him, right? Okay, let's just, Jeff West says, you are right. Okay, cool. Keep paying for you to be mad and wrong. All right, I'm not sure what you're saying there, Kaz, but keep paying for me to be mad. Like, how do you pay for me, dude? Like I just told you, I pay more in taxes every year than you probably get in salary. Your whole fucking family gets in salary. Like, what do you mean? No, I probably pay for you. It's the other way around, but I appreciate the comment. All right, Sun says, Frankie picked something he got wrong and say, yeah, and again, yeah, exactly. Pick again, call me out. Like, tell me where I'm wrong. I love to be wrong. I love to admit when I'm wrong. I've admitted many times that I was completely wrong about Trump. Like, I've been wrong about all kinds of things, but you got to point it out, man, so we can bat it around and let the chat know what's going on so the chat can bat it around as well. We got a lot of interesting people in the chat as well. So, okay, AP need to vote. Yeah, again, I don't know that voting matters anymore, guys. Like I said, the problem with voting today is that you get shitty candidate 1, you get shitty candidate 2. Very rare that you get a candidate who actually wants to go in and change things, right? Trump was supposed to be that candidate, and he just basically turned into a neocon, Israel supporting, everything for Israel guy. Meanwhile, he didn't reduce the cost of energy. He didn't end any conflicts. He fucked us over on the tariffs. He didn't do the mass deportations. Like, Trump has failed every way possible. And he won the popular vote. He won the swing states. Like, if he had just stuck to his guns, there's a lot of people that would have hated it. The vocal minority would have hated it, but we would have actually got the change that we voted for. You think that Trump won the popular vote because he was going to be wishy-washy on mass deportations? Do you think he won the popular vote because he said he would get energy prices down? Do you think he won the swing states in the popular vote, because he was pushing tax cuts, or excuse me, that he wasn't going to do tax cuts. Like, this guy won because he said he was going to do something. And now all he's done is turned into George W. Bush 2.0. You know, he just failed us in every way. So what are we going to do now? What, are you going to vote for J.D. Vance? Like what? The Manchurian candidate? Like, you going to vote for what? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? You know, is that what we got to do? It basically, like, we got to go even further to the left to maybe get a right-leaning candidate. Again, voting doesn't work in this country, and I don't know why, or I don't know how we fix it. If you guys know in the chat, like, what you think we got to do to actually get a candidate that will do what they say they're going to do. Like, say what you guys will about Joe Biden. At least Joe Biden did what he said he was going to do. You knew what you were going to get. I knew that I was going to hate taxes with Joe Biden. I knew that he was going to just print money at infinitum. I knew that Joe Biden was going to increase regulations, push fucking solar panels and wind farms and all this dumb shit. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that he would bait everyone into staying home by giving them money, right? Like, oh my God, there's nothing fucking losers love more than being losers is free fucking money to be losers, right? They love it. They love weakness. They love staying at home, just cashing checks, playing Call of Duty, fucking jerking off to YouPorn. This is what those people love. And Joe Biden just fed them that shit forever. So Joe Biden was more authentic than Donald Trump. Joe Biden did what brought us way over here. Trump was supposed to at least bring us back to the middle. And all that guy's done is raise the cost of absolutely everything while giving tax cuts to massive corporations and then sending our blood and treasure to the fucking third world, like he's been doing, like every president has been doing since 2001. It's wildly frustrating, guys. And again, I'm tired of paying for it. You guys should be tired of paying for it. But we got people in this country who just love free shit. They love the idea of taking from the rich and giving to the poor. And, oh, I'm going to fuck this guy over, when you don't realize that you're fucking yourself over. You're fucking your fellow countryman over. You're not getting what you're entitled to as an American. And again, you just do it every year. Every year, just, oh, I'm going to vote for the person who's going to give me free shit. I want free shit. I want free shit. Me, 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 me. Fucking disgusting, guys. Like, absolutely disgusting. Yeah, and Trump is just wild disappointment. So there you go. There's another good rant for you guys. All right, Titan Brew's in there. Titan Brew 8493. My city is planning to build a new yacht club, $300 million, over $250 million on the backs of taxpayers. Most of our city doesn't own a boat, never mind a yacht. Yeah, and this is the kind of shit that we're doing. And here's the thing, Titan Brew, and you'll know this too. What we got going on is we got a K-shaped economy, guys. And guess what? You guys are here. My customers for my business are all here, right? So as long as this keeps happening, guess what? My businesses continue to do good, right? So again, they'll keep giving you guys scraps. Maybe they'll give you guys a little bit of UBI. Maybe they'll increase your benefits when you retire. Maybe they'll give you a little tiny bit of additional Section 8, or maybe they'll give you a little bit more, whatever, not tax cuts. God dang, I'm totally drawing a blank. A tax credit. Maybe you guys a little bit more of a tax credit when you put some new windows in your house, or maybe they'll give you a little bit more increased money for that abatement on your rent, right? It's insane what's happening, guys. Like, and I know I'm probably losing people when I talk about this kind of stuff, but this is literally what's happening, man. They're paying for everything for the rich because it doesn't make sense to give money to the poor anymore unless it's via UBI, Section 8, SNAP, anything to keep you guys just watching Netflix and fucking YouPorn and not believing that you can do anything. They're giving all the money to the rich, and they're making all the products and services for the rich, because that's the only way that the middle class, people like myself, can afford to live the way that we live. To stay in the middle class is to serve the rich. It's the only way, guys. And you guys that think you're going to start a business, I'm going to start a t-shirt company. Get all your fucking products made in the third world by letting all the manufacturing go to the third world and then letting the third world come into America. They fucked you out of your jobs here at home, and they fucked you out of your jobs that you could be doing by sending all your jobs to the third world. They gave you guys a college education that's worth fuck all because you guys have been getting the same fucking education for 15 years at this point. Every time you go, I'm gonna go get a bachelor's in business. Well, yeah, you're the 10 millionth motherfucker to get the same goddamn degree. What makes you special? The only thing you guys have to fall back on is, oh my God, I'm a woman, I'm a lesbian. Like, oh, I support trans rights, I support illegal immigration. That's all you got to go on because your skills aren't any different than anyone else. Your piece of fucking paper that you got isn't any different than anybody else. There is nothing that makes you special, and you are not given the opportunity to prove how you can be special because you don't want to work for the wages that the fucking slave corporations want you to work for. And because you don't want to do that, they send your jobs to the third world, or they bring the third world in here. That way they don't have to hire you. You can go on fucking welfare. You can go on UBI. You can go be a line cook. Oh, guess what? You go drive DoorDash. Maybe you want to go work at an Amazon warehouse. As someone that hires and fires people, guys, you know how many fucking people I see that have worked at Amazon that drive DoorDash? People that have 6 jobs in 6 years. It's insane. It's insane what is happening in this country, guys. Absolutely insane. And this live stream is literally for all the people that see what is happening in our country, that see how we are being fleeced, how the third world has a stranglehold on our politicians and is taking our money and giving it away. Giving it away. You know, this cast is for the people that see it takes 2 years to plan to build a fucking bridge. When we built an entire skyscraper, the tallest skyscraper in America at the time, called the Empire State Building, in a fucking year. Hoover Dam, one of the wonders of the world, we built that thing in 5 years. We can't even plan a bridge in America anymore in that amount of time. It's just, it's insane. So anyway, sorry guys, keep going to the comments. Let me get a cup of coffee here. So we're gonna go to at least an hour. Then I go put this damn desk together. This desk took me forever to build. These desks always take me, I always underestimate how long it takes me to do these things. Okay, let's see, we built the awesome Gateway Arch in 2.5 years. So that's in, that's right here in St. Louis where I'm at. Yeah, do you guys ever see the freaking arch, man? They call it the arch because it's a gateway to the west, right? It's right on the Mississippi River. Freaking awesome, like incredible. And the whole fucking thing's made out of stainless steel, these massive plates of stainless steel, and they stack this thing. They built a big, it's like almost like a roller coaster mechanism that slides all up and down this arch, and they just basically put all these panels on there. It's really cool to go up in there. Again, they built it faster than they can build a goddamn bridge. And the engineering that went into building that arch was completely new when they did it, like completely new. We built 1,000 bridges in this country in the last, 150 years. I mean, the great thing about St. Louis is, the cool thing about St. Louis is Andrew Carnegie is a big part of this city. It's like literally known as one of the steel cities, right? You got Pittsburgh. We built one of the first bridges using Carnegie's steel over here. And they couldn't figure out how to get people to trust this newfangled steel thing when they were building bridges. So what they did is they got an elephant to walk across, right? Because there's this old wise tale back in the day that an elephant would never walk on an unsturdy structure. And that's how they opened up the, I forget what the name of the bridge is here in St. Louis, but I mean, just, whew, okay. Man, you guys can get me worked up. Tim Gadd, 1712, Baltimore is all union labor. That's going to be slow and expensive. Yeah, and again, no shade on unions. Unions have their place, but again, unions are just another one of these things, you know, that slows everything down, makes everything cost a shit ton of money. And it's one thing if you work in an industry that's not safe. It's one thing if you're working in an industry that's, again, pioneering technology. It's one thing if you're working in an environment that is unknown. You probably need more safety. You probably need more scrutiny. But again, the bridge, it's Baltimore, Maryland. It's not like this, you know, it has to be in Beverly Hills. Like, Jesus Christ, like we've been building bridges forever. This is not a 2-year design phase bullshit. Like, what the fuck is going on? Who approves this stuff? Like, people just want a fucking functioning bridge. They don't care if it, you know, meets all the, you know, slavery and looks back at the history of the area and talks about the land and, you know, make sure we got, gender equality in the design phase and gender neutrality in the building phase. Like, no one gives a shit. Just build a bridge. Get it on time, under budget, preferably in budget would be nice. Jesus Christ, Portland, Oregon is a shithole. Yeah, this is a Sega boy. Yeah, it's a complete shithole now. And again, I grew up there. I lived there forever. I left. And my dad, he's lived there for 70 years. He says he doesn't even recognize it anymore, you know. Thanks a lot, liberals. Thank you, California, for bringing your culture up to my state in the 90s and then completely destroying my state. Washington loves California also. Thanks for bringing your culture up into Washington and completely fucking that state over too. I can't even go back to the West Coast because of what a shithole that place has become. Thank you very much. You made Missouri look better than the most beautiful part of the entire United States of America. Amazing. Okay, full unions want as much time to keep billing as possible. 100%, man. And again, why would you give somebody money to fight for your wage? Like, why don't you fight for your own fucking wage? Oh, I can't. Like, bullshit, you can. It means you're not really that good at what you do. You know, I never get opportunities. I've been here for 10 years and I deserve seniority. You should be able to get rid of me because I've been here for a long time. Yeah, but you're fucking off. You know, you're wildly expensive for what you do. You're not actually that productive. Oh, but I got seniority. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, man. Okay, let's see. I'm zero minority gossip, hint, money, hint, crappy life. Everyone has a shitty life magic. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. My life's amazing. I took it, how about stop sending money to Israel? Yeah, that'd be a great start, Stop sending money to a lot of places. Keep the money here. Wild idea, It's like we don't have our own problems here to deal with, but whatever. Like again, for $1 billion a day, guys, how much healthcare would that buy? How much college debt could we pay off for people? How much medical debt could we pay off for people, right? How many hospitals could we build? How many homes could we build? Like, what could we do with $1 billion a day? Do you guys really feel good about restabilizing the Middle East? Because I don't think the Middle East was really a problem before Trump got in office. I mean, Ukraine, Russia was kind of a thing, but again, the Middle East, at least as I understood it, was kind of fine. It's a shithole. It's always been a shithole. It will always be a shithole. Hence the reason we don't fucking need to be there. And again, this isn't the 1970s when oil was really important coming in from the Middle East, and we should probably stabilize that region. Today, we get 50% of our oil that we import from Canada, another 10% from Mexico. We produce 13 million of the 20 million barrels we use a day right here in America. So it's, again, when you have a geriatric Congress and you have geriatric politicians, you're going to get geriatric policies. These fucking guys still think it's 1984 and Russia is the biggest threat that's existed in America. I mean, these people still think that Saudi Arabia is the #1 country for America's oil. These people are just complete dinosaurs, guys. All right, USA is great. USA is great, man. USA is awesome. Savage Chill 2873. We are fighting for Israel. We aren't fighting for Israel, you dumb. Okay, well, we've been fighting Israel's wars for a long time, dude. I hate to tell you. And the funny thing about it is, the funny thing about that whole situation is, we literally saved the Jews. We literally, kept these guys from being completely annihilated. If Hitler had not invested so much in Russia, he probably would have won the war. But again, he went over and fought this unstoppable machine that had an infinite amount of people to throw at the war, and it completely changed history. People think it's just America came in. There's a lot more to what happened in that situation to make it so that Hitler didn't, conquer Europe. There's a lot of things that happened there. But the thing is that America made it possible for the Jews to essentially have Israel, which is fine. They can have it. But we've been trying to protect these guys, and they've been trying to fight everyone off since they became a country. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, if you were an American, would you move as a white guy with $1 million, would you move into the hood surrounded by black people with no money and poverty? Would you drive Lamborghinis around and gold watches when you literally live in the fucking hood? Makes no sense, but that's what happened. And somehow we're supposed to pay for it. Again, we can't tell Israel, hey, you know what, back the fuck off. They still act like they own us. We didn't make their entire existence possible. It blows my mind, guys. And again, no shade against Israel, no shade against the Jewish population. I think it's great what we did over there, and it's fantastic they got their own place. But if you can't keep it, again, it's not our responsibility to fight all your fucking battles. It just isn't. We got our own problems to deal with. Okay, let's see. Wow, that sounds accurately racist. Great. I know everyone's racist, dude. Okay, you are stupid. Cool. Appreciate your comment. Okay, what coddling coward idiot. Okay, again, agreed to go fight terrorists after 9/11. I don't know what you did, dude, but let us know. Okay, Sun6122, KitKat, look at his website. There's funnycrow.com. Yeah, and again, this is the other thing. A lot of people talk shit on the internet. A lot of people are talkers. A lot of people are professional pundits and professional talkers. I'm none of those things. I'm an actual furniture manufacturer. I have a furniture factory. I'm not some fucking guy making shit in my garage, making TikTok videos and Instagram videos for you guys. I actually have a real business. I talk about real taxes, real problems, real solutions, and real topics. So, Son, I appreciate it, man. Okay, big Chris. This is big Chris Entertainment. Big Chris Entertainment. Okay. ECUA's rule on Earth is coming to an end. Okay, well, we'll see. Okay, Bet, thanks. Agree, big. S. Woodward, 8987. Better not go to another country thinking like this. Okay, again, I go to lots of countries, dude. Again, I got lots of furniture in other countries. And again, everyone loves America when we're paying for all your guys' fucking security. They love America when we're over there influencing for your country. America loves when we intervene on other people's behalfs, right? But again, Americans aren't getting anything for that, okay? Where the fuck is Europe when we got problems here in America? Where's Israel when we got fucking problems in America? Where's the Middle East when we got problems here in America? Oh yeah, they're nowhere to be found. Okay, so yeah, I'm fucking done helping all these other countries. Y'all can stand on your own 2 feet. You can be fucking men like America is. You can go fight your own fucking battles and stop relying on America to protect all you people. I'm tired of it. I'm done. Like I said, we need healthcare here. We need affordable housing here. We need a shit ton of LNG plants, of nuke plants, of anything to get the cost of energy down. It's hilarious to me that suddenly Trump's like, oh my God, we're going to make it so that the AI companies and the data center companies have to use their own power stations. Like, motherfucker, we've needed power stations here in America for 30 years. What are you talking about? Now you're suddenly going to let the AI companies create power stations? Like, fuck, they've been doing this for years now. They've already made all the AI centers and the data centers, and they've already pushed this shit for so long. Like, what the fuck you mean? Now you're going to do it? Again, the guy's so full of shit, and people just lap it up. They lap up Trump's slop. You know, it's just, it's wild, guys. Like, things could be so much better in this country if people would just stop taking it up the ass, 22.5% in taxes every day of your life, guys. It's insane. Like, force people back into the factories. It's not forcing people back in factories. Factory jobs are awesome. Again, I worked in a factory my entire life. They got white floors. Like the machines are all top notch. Like, they're maintained by entire teams of people that maintain all the equipment. There's nothing wrong with the factory. Lighting's way better than it used to be. You know, it's like, again, we work with computer stations. We have exploded views and drawings, and we work with cutting edge technologies like Kevlar and carbon fiber. Like, trust me, factories aren't what they used to be. But again, people that have been to academia and have been to college, and they still think that, like, it's fucking machines spewing oil and we're all breathing dust and everything's super loud. We're all covered in coal dust. I mean, fucking people are, for being super educated, you're really Luddites. You know, it's an interesting paradox there. So, all right, let's Serventi 8142. What a bigot looking at. Yeah, again, you just love to call people bigots. Okay, topic for someday. Okay, topic for someday, the 15.3% self-employment tax. Okay, cool, yeah. No matter how many deductions I use, the tax still always bites me in the ass. Now I pay school tax in Ohio and I don't have any kids. Yeah, again, we're supposed to pay for things as taxpayers that benefit society. Like, I'm all for it. You know, I think it's great. If we're going to pay, I think we should pay for school. I think we should pay for roads, and we should pay for all those things. But there's a cap, right? Just because your costs go up do not mean that my costs go up, right? As a business owner, I can't just pass my costs on to my customers, right? Everyone thinks, oh my God, we just pass costs on. Nothing works that way. You have to increase value. You have to justify an increase in the cost of anything. You know, but again, government doesn't have to do it. They just fucking tax and tax and tax and tax, and you just have to pay it. And what you're talking about, the self-employment taxes, you're talking about the 7.5% tax that we employers have to pay for things like Social Security and Medicare. You're talking about the 7.5% that then the employee has to pay on top of that for Social Security and Medicare. And you can't get out of it. Like, there's no way to get out of it. And you're set. Anyway, Josh Metz, if that's what you want to talk about, man, we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about it, maybe the middle of this week. We can go over that in detail and talk about some of the just straight up employer taxes, which again, probably won't be a super popular topic, but we'll do it anyway. I think it'd be fun. So, all right, I'm going to write it down. Talk employer taxes, because again, yeah, everyone thinks that employers are just trying to fuck over employees, and that we're just getting rich, and there's a lot of fallacies about business owners, and a lot of fallacies about all kinds of things and it related to business. Okay, let's see, this is Bobber Sonlar 1743. The children yearn for the mines. Okay, I don't think again, we all think that this is this old school way of thinking that, like, you know, people that mine the coal mines, they hate this work. It's the only thing that they can do. Like, these generational coal miners, like, people don't want to do this work. I mean, Hillary Clinton famously said that, you know, we're not going to do coal anymore. You guys are going to learn to code and all of these kind of things. And it's hilarious because now it's like hashtag learn to weld. It's like all you people that were pushing that learn to code shit. Well, shoes on the other foot now, bitch. Okay, Dino 985. Are you a doctor by chance? No, I'm not a doctor. You're a free speech absolutist. Yes, Brad, I'm pretty much a free speech absolutist. You'd really have to say something that is just outlandish to get me to not be a free speech absolutist. I'm sure there's something, I've just never ran into it, you know. So again, I'm always free to have my mind changed. So okay, Edom in Hebrew means red, like Rothschild means red shield. They're probably, okay. Son, you always, you know some of the wildest information. I don't know half of what you talk about, dude. Kit Kat 2134. Oh man, he doesn't sell Trex. I was trying to build a deck. Yeah, sorry, don't sell Trex. I actually make my own product. But Trex is a pretty good product. I looked at doing Trex so I've got a 3-tier deck on my house, right? So I've got, one of my decks is about 1,000 square feet. The one in my master bedroom is probably 360 square feet. And then there's one on the very lower level, because I live on a cliff, guys. I live on a hill overlooking the Mississippi River. There's 3 tiers. There's something close to like 2,000 square feet of deck. And I redid the whole deck out of cedar wood. And I looked at doing Trax. Trax is cool. It's very expensive, and it just doesn't quite have that wood look. Like, it's close. It's definitely the best of all of them. There's also like a lower tier composite decking that you can buy that's sold at Home Depot. I forget what it's called, but Trex is a cool product for sure. But again, it's overpriced, and it just doesn't have that look, you know. So there's something about wood that just looks warm and it looks natural, and Trex just is the exact opposite. So great product though. Okay, let's see. Big Chris Entertainment, AU police officers along with ESAU senator just broke the arm of ESAU Marine for speaking out against American support for Israel. Israel's war against Iran. ESAU's nation is dividing itself again. Yeah, and again, I saw some of that video. I don't know who's in the right in that situation. You got to be careful when you protest in this country, right? When you get in between, you know, the authority. When you get between the protesters and the authority, right, you enter a gray zone. And that guy, from what I could tell, I don't know, it seemed to be like he was a little bit aggressive, and just because you got a fucking uniform on doesn't absolve you of anything. You're not special because you got a uniform on in the regards of the rules, right, the way the laws worked, obstructing, you know, hearings and obstructing people because you're a Marine and because you are against this thing. You could do it, but there's consequences. And I don't know that that guy should have had his hand or his arm broke. I don't remember. Like I haven't watched a ton of video on that, but from what I could tell, I mean, that guy was definitely stirring shit up, you know. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're right, dude. I didn't watch all the videos. Okay. Wither 616. We have Freedom Doritos. All right, man. Sir Venti 8142. Someone who demands conformity and assimilation is just trying to police other people's First Amendment. What a prick. Again, I don't know who's trying to get conformity and assimilation. When people come into this country, though, you have a duty to assimilate into this country. Now, if you're just coming into work, you're just coming in on a visa, you're here for 3 to 6 months, you know, that's a different story. But if you want to be a citizen, right, and you want to get the benefits of this country, yes, you have a obligation to assimilate in this country. And if you don't, you need to go, right? And then the first thing is you got to speak English. You got to learn the language, you got to be working on it. And if you don't do it, you got to go. And why is that? Because English is the language of success. English is the language of America. And again, you could speak whatever language you want, but one of those languages has got to be English, you know? So if you don't agree with that, I'm sorry, but like I tell the story a lot of times. So I tried to emigrate to New Zealand, right? I'm a white guy. I made good money. They literally had me going over there to work on the CEO of Samsung's private BBJ jet. So I thought I fit all the criteria. But when I went to apply for citizenship to live in New Zealand, because I loved it so much, turns out they didn't want me, right? And why didn't they want me, right? Like I thought I fit all the criteria. Well, the truth is they didn't want me because I didn't match one of the needs that they have on their list for immigrants to come into their country, right? You got to have a need in order to be there, right? And one of the requirements to be able to come into New Zealand is you can't have debt, right? You can't have debt, you can't have any diseases, and you can't have dependent children or spouses without a source of income to pay for them, because they have universal health care, right? They've got universal dental, so on and so forth. They're very generous in their benefits, so they do not let just anybody into their country. In America, we let anybody in here. We don't care. And again, if you can't get in the legal way, well, you could just come in the back door and everyone looks the other way. Like, you can't have the kind of benefits that we have here in America and have our immigration policy. I'm sorry, you just can't have it, you know? So again, when I say you need to assimilate, that's how I see it, you know? So again, I like your comment, but again, you don't have a solution. You just call people names and that doesn't solve anything, you know? So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, the wall socket. Yeah, but we're gonna own Iran soon, and then we'll go there to live cheap. Yeah, I know, exactly, yeah. Yeah, just like we're gonna own Syria, we're gonna own Sudan, we're gonna own Libya, we're gonna own Iraq, we're gonna own Afghanistan, and again, like, who the fuck would wanna go live in these places? You know, like, like I just, whatever, man. Again, places that no Americans are gonna go, guys. It's wildly frustrating to me that this is what we choose to do with our resources. You know, we're going to try and stabilize this region. Again, no American's going to go there. None of you guys will ever go to the Middle East. I'm sorry, you're just not. You're never going to go to Israel. You're never going to go to any of these places. So, okay, the big Christian Champion says, a nation divided against itself will fall. Yeah, and again, like I said, that's kind of where we're going, guys. Sir Venti 8142, you see, you just tried to say you didn't care about $10 heads of lettuce. Now you want to talk about prices. And again, because you don't need to live, you can't live in a head of lettuce, right? You can't, you don't need to have a head of lettuce when you drive your car. Okay, we have things that are required here in America. I'm here to tell you, dude, lettuce ain't one of them. Same thing with strawberries. Like, again, I love getting strawberries all year round. If I got to pay $10 for a pound of strawberries, like, I'm okay with it. You want strawberries that bad? Again, you want lettuce? Lettuce has almost zero nutritional content. Lettuce is for fat people and rabbits. Okay, that's what lettuce is for. So that's kind of how I see it. Let's see, wait here, 616. Iran isn't third world. Okay, dude. Whatever. Again, you got a lot of people, like, they literally walk around on dirt floors, okay? Like, there's a lot of that going on there. Yes, there's wealthy areas in every country, dude. Like my wife's from fucking India, motherfucker, okay? Like you can't tell me what it's like over there, okay? You can't tell me how things really are. The people that make all my hardware, they literally work with no shoes on their feet, not because they're poor, because it's normal in that culture to go to work without shoes on. It's more comfortable to work without having shoes on all day long. Like, trust me, like, I know what I'm talking about, dude. This, holy hell, man. It's some of the stuff you guys believe is insane. Okay, Brad X31, society and general rewards, validation seeking behavior, cultural, oh man, you're nailing it, Brad. Cultivates narcissism and rewards abusers to the detriment of the abused. The politicians are wondering why people aren't having children. 100%, man. Actually, Brad, that's a great comment, dude. Like, I wish there was a way, like, I could give, like, acknowledgement to certain people's comments. Like, you said a ton there. That's one of the big problems we have here in America today. We incentivize all the wrong shit, you know? It's one of the reasons, like, politicians they're never gonna let the Epstein files come out because it's gonna implicate too many powerful people, including politicians. You can't get this sexual harassment bill to come before Congress because, again, they don't want people to know that their Congress people are dirty, nasty people that abuse women. You can't get the Congress to stop buying stocks and trading with insider information, which is completely legal in Congress. You can't get that bill passed. You can't get anything passed that would bring light on the debauchery and the depravity that we have within our leaders, right? And then, yeah, you factor in things like Facebook, Instagram. It's basically this look at me kind of mentality, and that's all people want to do. And again, why would they have kids? Why would you have kids in an environment like this? And again, when you send all these women to college and you send them into the workplace and tell, girl bosses, you don't need no man, you tell people that, men can be women, women can be women, and you push all this shit forever, and then it, conveniently spikes up in all these liberal states, which, again, is kind of weird. People are gonna have kids. Like, men are tired of listening to women fucking tell them they don't need no man, Men are tired of feeling like they're not validated. Like, men are tired of having to act like women in the workplace. Men are tired of all kinds of things, right? It's like it sounds like completely Luddite. Like, I get it. Like, it sounds like I'm some dumb guy who doesn't know anything about anything, but I've worked in the factory for a long time. Like, this idea that, again, like, men have to go through sexual harassment training, implicit bias training, like all the bullshit that we have to do in corporate America, this all comes from HR. This all comes from academia, and it's always some black woman that essentially is making everyone do all this shit, and it's fucking irritating. Like, again, as a guy who was in corporate America for 20 years, like, you can't tell me it's not true. That's how it was in almost every company that I was ever at, and it's fucking bullshit. So yeah, no wonder guys don't want to have kids. Like, no wonder, women can't afford to have kids, right? Again, when you drive people out of homes and into apartments, when you create a nation of renters, no one's invested in the nation. Why would you have kids? Like, I'm just gonna go party, put my shit on Instagram, go fuck a bunch of dudes, bunch of chicks, and just, do everything for me and for pleasure and for convenience. And yeah, you're not gonna have any kids, guys. Why would anyone have kids? Like, it makes no sense. So meanwhile, somebody like me starts a small business, like, invest every dollar, every resource that I have in my business. All of my retirement is in my business in the hopes that I can pass it down to my kids. Okay, so you guys want to know why? I'll tell you why no one's having kids. I know why no one's having kids, and I'm doing everything for the exact opposite reasons. So, yeah, but Brad, man, great comment. Great freaking comment, man. Okay, Sir Vent 8142, no Republicans vote like that. Okay, well, how's your country doing, dude? Do you feel like you got what you wanted when you voted for Trump? What, did you just want more war? you want more supporting the third world while fucking over your own country? Do you like that? I talk about. See, you are talking about local issues. Again, not a ton of local issues. I'm talking about a lot of issues. We started this conversation talking about TSA. Then we moved into other things that Congress wasn't talking about, and somehow we got onto. We always seem to get on Donald Trump and the Epstein, so we're talking a little about that. So. Again, we got some good comments here today. I appreciate everyone spending time this morning. If you're in the chat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, add discussion. Let's go to we'll go to about 82 minutes. Then guys, I got to get out of here. I want to read. I guess I haven't looked in the chat. Let's see where we're at in the chat. Holy shit, I'm behind. All right. Let's see. We're gonna go into let's hit up Titan Brews comments. Let's see what Sun says. Okay, Sun's showing. Sun's showing the resplendentcrow.com site. Yeah, appreciate that. Israel did Tower Day to the U.S. Their fingerprints are all over it. Yeah, next thing, Sun. I don't know about any of that stuff. I haven't researched it, but I'm gonna go with what you're saying. All right, Matthew F5E. I'm getting to the age where I can just buck paying taxes. What's the most they can do to me? What's the most they can do to me? Yeah, right. It's sad that we would even get to that point. And again, I'll tell you guys, if you want to buck taxes, you want to keep more of your money, start a business. Like it's the government incentivizes, the tax structure incentivizes people that own companies. You can literally write off your entire life, which you're still going to pay taxes, but you can do some things to really eat at the amount of tax that you pay. So anyway, I could do like I said. Josh Menz wants to do a tax talking about employment taxes and stuff like that. So maybe we'll talk about the benefits of small business and how you guys can skirt the tax system, write off everything in your life as a small business owner. So maybe we'll talk about that. Okay, let's see, RG2230. Let's see what you see. Our glory to God. Okay, we got the Bible thumpers in here this morning. I think the IRS can get you put in prison. I had a 2-year fight with the IRS over a $750 discrepancy. I won in the end, but it didn't stop the IRS from threatening me with jail time. Yep, Titan Brew, you're 100% right. The IRS is nasty. I've had the Department of Labor come after me. I've had to fight the IRS. I've had to do a lot of different things, and a lot of times it's fear tactics, right? The federal government literally thinks that they can just threaten you, and most people are going to capitulate. Okay. The thing about the most people don't understand is like, so take the average person. The average person makes whatever, 60 grand a year. The federal government comes to you and says, you know what, you didn't pay us, like in Titan's case, $750 in taxes. Most people are just going to pay the money, right? Because they don't want the federal government saying, hey, I'm going to lien all your shit. I'm going to threaten to put you in jail. I'm going to threaten to take money out of your bank account, which they can absolutely do. Most people are just going to be like, fuck it, I'm just going to pay it. Well, what people like me and Titan do is because we got a little bit of money, what we do is say, well, you know what? Talk to my fucking attorney. And then what happens is the attorney starts talking to the IRS. Well, suddenly the IRS wants to make a deal. Suddenly the IRS is saying, well, hey, here's all of our information. And suddenly the IRS isn't going to get paid right away. And what the IRS really wants is the people that are coming after you, they kind of want to make a name for themselves, right? They want to show that they're getting a judgment. They want to show that they're bringing in revenue to the IRS, that they're actually justifying the IRS's existence. So if they come after me for $10,000, they'll take $2,000. They just want to show that they're making progress. And again, it's going to cost me $5,000 with an attorney, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to pay the 10 grand. Even if I owe it, I'm going to pay 7. 2 to the government, 5 to the attorney. Once you get an attorney involved, everything changes. But most people aren't going to spend the money to get the attorney because they don't have the money. The IRS knows this. Anyway, so Titan Brew, good comment, man. All right, Titan Brew says this is an English-speaking chat, folks. Yep, I love it, man. This is an English-speaking country. Torah only, no Jesus, no colonization. Hello, Torah only, no Jesus, no colonization. All right, man, great name. We like people that want to. You guys want to talk about the Torah in here, man? I'm down for it. You guys want to talk about anything? I'm down for all of it. You want to talk about the Bible? Great. You want to talk about the Quran? Let's talk the Qurans. I got a Syrian furniture maker. You know, we talk the Quran all the time. Okay, does person speak about language or speaking in leg lamp dialect? Great comment. Okay, guys, let's go to the last couple of comments. Titan, you're going to get let's go with Titan. Says no. Titan's doing moderators. Titan Brew's one of our moderators, man. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. John Frasa, Titan, yours, please. Okay, you're not at war with Iran. We're not at war with Iran, idiot. Okay, well, YT Power, man, you're definitely believing the propaganda. So like, subscribe, and share. Support the channel. You have Titan Brew. I appreciate it, guys. Okay, Bible Radio Brothers Style 9730. They can do all that, but they cannot take your leg lamp because if you get too close, it will kick you in the privates. That's a hilarious comment, man. Thank you so much for that. You ended the chat with a smile. Okay, guys. So I tell everyone, like, subscribe to the channel. We talk usually once a day about some kind of a topic. You know, I don't have a ton of time today. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I do what's in the shop generally Friday, Saturday. I show you guys what's in the factory, what we're shipping out. I show you guys the pretty furniture, the staying furniture, the problems that we ran into, the new equipment that we're buying, the issues that we're dealing with. I talk about the industry of furniture, the state of our industry. I talk about how my business is doing. I talk about how to paint furniture, how to build furniture, all kinds of things related to small business and the furniture. I appreciate anyone that comes back and watches this channel. Your time means a lot to me, which is why I give you guys, like I said, an hour, sometimes 2 hours a day talking about topics so that you guys get to rant back and forth with me. You guys hear my rant as a normie dude, never graduated high school, figured out a way to start a business. We got a couple business owners in here, you know, so if you guys have questions, you can ask anything about starting a business, tax questions, employment questions, insurance, just anything related to business, okay? How to do marketing, how to do advertising, how to start a website, how to find customers. We have all that information here, but we also talk about politics and current events, okay? So, all right, last couple comments, and then I gotta go. See this Poopa Lupa, great day, man. Okay, that's a major award. Hell yeah, Poopa Lupa. Poopa Lupa, come back tomorrow. So my chat's in today. Don't shoot, you're out. Yep, great comment. And again, I'm out here, guys. You guys have a great day. And again, it's Monday, so let's get off to a good week.